welcome to our deep dive. Um, Today we're looking at the way of the intelligent rebel.
Yeah, you sent in some pretty interesting excerpts from this book by Olivier Roland.
Yeah, we're going to kind of unpack that, see what we can learn
Well,
about learning about work, about just taking control of our lives.
it's all about breaking free from the ordinary, but doing it intelligently.
Right. Not just rebelling for the sake of rebelling.
Exactly. Roland really starts off by challenging the status quo when it comes to education.
Hmm.
He even uses this term new illiterates to describe people who lack essential skills in today's world.
So it's not illiteracy in the traditional sense of not being able to read, right? It's
No.
like a new type of illiteracy.
Exactly. It's about lacking those skills that are really vital for navigating the complexities of the modern world.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, he talks about the importance of things like learning languages, effectively mastering mental models, understanding the power of storytelling.
I see. It's not just like rote memorization or, just absorbing facts.
Right. It's about developing those higher order thinking skills and those practical skills that allow you to actually apply knowledge in real world situations.
And it's interesting because he brings up the forgetting curve,
Right.
which is this
Mhm.
idea that we forget information so quickly if we don't actively use it.
It's a classic concept in learning science, and it really highlights the limitations of passive learning.
So what does he suggest we do about it?
Well, he proposes some alternative approaches to learning. One of them is what he calls the personal MBA.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. What is that exactly?
It's essentially a curated collection of wisdom from the world's top business books. So instead of going through a traditional MBA program, you can get the key insights from those books.
Yeah, I remember when I first came across that concept, I was like, wow, that's actually brilliant because I was looking into going back to school for an MBA. And then I thought, well, do I really need to go through all of that or can I just get the essence of what's really important?
Right. And that's the beauty of the personal MBA. It's about taking ownership of your education and being selective about what you learn.
So it's all about self-directed learning.
Absolutely.
He also talks about the 30-day trial as a way to develop new habits.
Yeah, that's a great technique for breaking down a seemingly daunting goal into smaller, manageable steps.
So, like, if you wanted to learn a new language or
Yeah.
start exercising regularly, you commit to doing it every day for 30 days.
Exactly. And the idea is that by making it a consistent practice for a set period of time, you're more likely to make it a lasting habit.
It's like building that momentum,
Exactly.
and then it becomes part of your routine.
And he also emphasizes the importance of learning directly from successful individuals.
Yeah, mentorships, apprenticeships, just being around people who are already doing what you want to do.
Right, because they can often provide those real-world insights and practical advice that you might not get from traditional education.
And then he moves on to entrepreneurship.
Yes, presenting it as a really viable path to freedom and fulfillment outside of the traditional 9 to 5.
I think a lot of people are drawn to that idea, but they might also be intimidated by it.
Right, and that's understandable. There are risks involved, but he emphasizes minimizing those risks and validating your business ideas before going all in.
It's not just about quitting your job and hoping for the best.
Exactly. It's about being strategic and calculated in your approach to entrepreneurship.
He has an example of JB, who created a successful podcasting business
Right.
while still maintaining like a very minimal time commitment.
Yeah, and it really demonstrates that with the right strategies, you can achieve both income and freedom.
And then he goes into marketing and sales,
He delves into those psychological principles that influence how we make decisions.
like social proof, authority, scarcity.
Yes, and understanding those principles can help you communicate your value more effectively.
It's not about manipulating people.
No, it's about understanding how people think and then using that knowledge ethically to share your message and to connect with your audience.
He uses the Beats by Dre commercial as an example of storytelling and marketing.
Yeah, and it's a great example because it shows how a powerful story can evoke emotions and create a connection with the audience.
It's not just about the features of the product.
Right. It's about the feeling that the product represents.
And then he transitions into personal growth.
Yeah, he offers practical advice on things like improving concentration, willpower, and even getting better sleep.
So it's not just about business success. It's about overall well-being.
Right, because all of those aspects of our lives are interconnected.
He talks about creating an environment conducive to focus,
Right. Minimizing distractions.
building willpower gradually like a muscle.
Yes, starting with small changes and gradually increasing the challenge.
And then he emphasizes the importance of sleep for cognitive function and creativity.
He even provides tips for creating a relaxing bedtime routine.
So it's a very holistic approach.
Absolutely. He also shares the inspiring story of Matteo, a young entrepreneur who transformed his life by applying these principles.
I always find those real-life examples so motivating.
Me too. They show that these concepts aren't just theoretical. They can actually make a tangible difference in people's lives.
Okay, so what else is he talking about in this book?
Well, he talks about the overwhelming amount of information that we're exposed to these days.
Especially with the internet and social media. It's like a
Oh.
constant stream of information coming at us from all directions.
Right. And he encourages us to become more selective about what we consume.
Unsubscribe from those unnecessary emails, set limits on social media.
Curate our information diet.
Yeah, it's about taking back control of our attention.
Exactly, because our attention is a valuable resource.
And he also talks about the benefits of a well-structured morning routine,
Right, starting the day with intention
incorporating things like meditation or exercise.
to set a positive tone for the day.
And then he talks about creating temptation-free environments to support those positive habits
It's about making it easier to make healthy choices.
by removing those triggers that might lead to unhealthy behaviors.
Exactly.
And he also recommends finding an accountability partner.
Someone who can support you in your goals.
Yeah, someone to help you stay on track.
And then he delves into techniques for improving concentration and deep work.
So those focus periods of work where you're really in the flow.
Yes, he suggests scheduling dedicated blocks of time for that type of work.
Eliminating distractions,
Maybe even working in a different location if your home environment is too distracting.
like a coffee shop or a library.
Right.
And then he revisits the importance of sleep.
Yes, he actually cites a study that compares chronic sleep deprivation to the effects of pulling 2 all-nighters in a row.
Wow.
It really highlights the negative impact of not getting enough sleep.
So it's not just about feeling tired, it's about impairing our cognitive function.
Exactly.
So how do we get better sleep?
Well, he suggests establishing a consistent sleep schedule,
Okay.
creating a relaxing bedtime routine, and optimizing your sleep environment.
Making your bedroom darker and quieter.
Right.
And then he goes back to self-directed learning,
He devotes a whole chapter to mastering the art of learning how to learn.
becoming a lifelong learner.
Exactly, because in today's world, things are constantly changing.
We need to be able to adapt and learn new things quickly.
Right, and he explores techniques like spaced repetition and active recall.
Which are proven methods for improving memory retention.
Yes, and he recommends using tools like flashcards or spaced repetition software to make learning more efficient and even enjoyable.
I've experimented with some of those tools, and I find them really helpful.
Me too. And he also emphasizes learning by doing.
So actually applying the knowledge that we acquire.
Right, because that's how we solidify our understanding and develop practical skills.
And then he encourages seeking guidance from mentors, coaches, and peers.
Surrounding yourself with people who can support you and challenge you.
And then he talks about redefining success.
Yes, he urges us to move beyond those societal expectations and really discover what truly matters to us as individuals.
So it's not just about chasing wealth or status.
Right, it's about living a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling on our own terms.
He emphasizes that true success transcends material possessions,
It's about aligning our lives with our core values
pursuing work that we find meaningful.
and making a positive impact on the world.
He also revisits the idea of breaking free from the 9-to-5 grind.
Yes, presenting entrepreneurship as a path to greater freedom, flexibility, and control.
And he dispels those common myths surrounding entrepreneurship.
Like the need for substantial capital or the idea that it's inherently high risk.
He argues that with careful planning and resourcefulness,
Anyone can launch a successful business.
he even provides a practical roadmap for starting a business.
From developing a business idea to creating a business plan and launching your venture,
And he stresses the importance of market research,
understanding your target audience,
building a strong brand identity.
and developing a compelling marketing strategy.
And then he introduces this concept of building a business that works hard for you.
Yes, the idea is to create a business that can generate income without requiring your constant attention.
So you can have more freedom and flexibility.
Right. He provides examples of entrepreneurs who have successfully built automated businesses,
That generate passive income.
enabling them to pursue other passions, travel, or simply enjoy more leisure time,
And then he dives deeper into marketing and sales,
emphasizing the importance of understanding your target market
crafting a clear message.
and choosing the right marketing channels.
He also talks about the sales funnel,
A system for guiding potential customers through the stages leading to a purchase.
and he provides strategies for each stage of the funnel.
from generating leads to closing deals and building customer loyalty.
And then he explores the power of the internet for marketing and sales,
Building a strong online presence
leveraging social media and email marketing.
and using data to make informed decisions.
And then he shifts to optimizing our entire lives.
Finding that balance between our professional pursuits and our personal well-being.
Managing our time effectively,
Creating a better work-life balance.
identifying our peak performance times,
Delegating tasks effectively.
establishing clear boundaries between work and personal life,
And then he talks about the importance of mindset,
cultivating a positive growth-oriented mindset,
overcoming limiting beliefs,
developing a more optimistic outlook.
building resilience,
And then he talks about the power of taking action
breaking down our goals into smaller steps.
and making consistent progress.
Even small efforts can lead to significant results over time.
And then he talks about success as not just achieving our own goals,
But also making a positive contribution to the world around us.
using our talents and resources to make a difference.
And then he reminds us that success is not a destination,
It's an ongoing journey,
with challenges and setbacks along the way,
but it's about persevering and learning from our mistakes.
and celebrating our achievements along the way.
And then he introduces his intelligent rebel philosophy,
Challenging assumptions,
challenging the status quo,
forging our own paths,
embracing our individuality.
unleashing our creativity,
It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves.
and contributing our unique gifts to the world.
And he ends with a powerful call to action,
To tap into that inner intelligent rebel,
to pursue our passions.
and to create lives that are both meaningful and fulfilling.
So before we move on to part 2, maybe we could try to distill those key takeaways into a concise 10-point summary.
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a shot.
Okay. Number 1 challenge, conventional wisdom. Don't just blindly accept things as they are.
Right. Question assumptions.
Number 2, embrace self-education.
Take control of your learning journey.
Number 3, cultivate a growth mindset.
Believe in your capacity to learn and evolve.
Number 4, take action.
Don't let fear or procrastination hold you back.
Number 5, build a business that works hard for you.
Leverage technology and systems to create a business that gives you freedom.
Number 6, master the art of marketing and sales.
Understand your audience and connect with them authentically.
Number 7, optimize your productivity.
Manage your time effectively and minimize distractions.
Number 8, prioritize sleep.
Rest and rejuvenation are essential for peak performance.
Number 9, make a positive impact on the world.
Use your talents and resources to make a difference.
And number 10, never give up.
Embrace challenges and keep moving forward.
So, out of all of that, what really stands out to you? What resonates the most?
I think the emphasis on taking ownership of our lives is really powerful. It's not about waiting for things to happen, but about actively creating the future we want.
I completely agree. It's about becoming the architects of our own destiny.
And embracing the journey with all of its ups and downs, knowing that we have the power to shape our own futures and make a positive impact.
So what's one action you're going to take based on what we've talked about today? What's a step you can take to unlock your inner intelligent rebel?
It's a great question. I think I'm going to revisit my morning routine and see if there are any small changes I can make to start my day with more intention.
That sounds like a great first step.
Yeah.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly. So take that step, embrace that intelligent rebel within you, and see where it leads.
I love that. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and dive into some more specific examples and strategies from the book.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
So let's dive into this idea of working in your business versus working on your business.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that distinction before, but I'm not entirely sure I grasp it.
Yeah, it's subtle but important. Roland says working in your business often means you're caught up in those day-to-day tasks, the operations.
It's like putting out fires constantly.
Exactly. You're being reactive instead of proactive.
I see. And that can lead to feeling stuck, like you're on a treadmill, just running and running, but not really getting anywhere.
Precisely. But working on your business, that takes a more strategic perspective.
So you're stepping back and looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, you're evaluating your systems, finding ways to improve them, and delegating tasks effectively.
So you're not the one doing everything yourself.
Right. It's about building a business that works for you rather than you working for it.
That makes sense. So how do you actually do that? Like, what are some practical steps?
Well, Roland talks about documenting your processes. So you can create systems that run smoothly even without your direct involvement.
So anyone could step in and follow the instructions, basically.
Exactly. He also emphasizes automating tasks wherever possible and building a capable team to handle the day-to-day operations.
So you're freeing yourself up to focus on the bigger picture stuff.
Right, the strategic planning, the vision, the growth of the business.
He has this interesting anecdote about an entrepreneur who drastically reduced his work hours.
Oh, yeah. What did he do?
He disconnected his internet at home.
Wow.
So he couldn't work from home anymore, and it forced him to streamline his business and only focus on the essential tasks.
That's pretty radical, but I guess it worked.
Yeah, and it shows how sometimes limitations can actually lead to innovation and greater efficiency.
I like that. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, should I quit my job to start a business?
Yeah, that's a big question.
And Roland acknowledges that leaving your job can provide that sense of urgency and commitment, but it also increases the risks significantly.
So what does he suggest?
Well, he recommends exploring other options first, like starting a side hustle or transitioning gradually, maybe reducing your hours at your job while you're building your business.
So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right. It's about finding a balance between risk and security.
He tells this story of a PhD student who started a tutoring business as a side hustle.
Oh, yeah. And eventually he realized he loved it so much that he turned it into his full-time gig.
Exactly, and it shows that sometimes you don't know what you're truly passionate about until you try it out.
I think that's true for a lot of things in life.
He also talks about different ways to fund your business.
Right. It's not always about getting those big investments from venture
He
capitalists,
talks about bootstrapping,
where you use your own savings or revenue from early sales to fund your business,
and then there's crowdfunding.
which has become really popular in recent years. You raise money from a community of supporters online.
He mentions Airbnb as an example.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they sell cereal boxes to raise money in the early days?
They did special edition cereal boxes.
It's a great example of resourcefulness and thinking outside the box.
And then he talks about the importance of partnerships.
Right. Having the right partner can make a huge difference in the success of your business.
But it's not always easy to find the right partner.
No. It's
Mm.
crucial to choose someone who complements your skills and shares your values.
And someone who you can actually work with effectively.
Yeah. Communication and trust are key in any partnership.
He tells this story of a business partnership that fell apart because the two partners had completely different work styles and they weren't aligned on their goals.
Oh, yeah. That's a recipe for disaster.
And then he dives into the topic of sales.
Uh-oh. A lot of people dread sales.
I know. But Roland argues that sales don't have to be sleazy or manipulative. He says it's about genuinely connecting with your audience and providing value.
Okay, that makes sense.
He talks about the importance of understanding your customers' needs.
Right. And presenting your offering in a way that resonates with those needs.
It's about building relationships, not just closing transactions.
He also touches on those psychological principles that influence our buying decisions.
Yeah, like reciprocity. If you give someone something of value, they're more likely to want to give something back in return.
Right. And social proof.
We're more likely to do something if we see other people doing it.
Yeah, those principles can be really powerful when used ethically.
And he even provides a step-by-step guide for creating a compelling sales presentation,
Oh, wow.
emphasizing storytelling, highlighting benefits, and addressing objections.
So it's a very practical approach to sales.
Yeah, he really breaks it down into manageable steps.
And then he shifts gears and talks about artificial intelligence.
Oh, interesting. AI is such a hot topic these days.
Yeah, and he explores how AI is going to impact the future of work.
Both the positive and the negative aspects.
Right. He acknowledges that AI has the potential to automate a lot of routine tasks.
Which could free up human workers to focus on more creative and strategic work.
Exactly. But it also raises concerns about job displacement.
Yeah, some jobs are definitely going to be replaced by AI.
And that means that workers are going to need to adapt and learn new skills.
So what does he suggest we do?
He emphasizes the importance of continuous learning. We need to develop skills that complement AI, and we need to cultivate a mindset that embraces change and adaptability.
So instead of fearing AI, we should see it as a tool that we can use to our advantage.
Exactly. It's about shaping the future of work rather than just reacting to it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been a fascinating discussion so far. I'm really curious to see what else Roland has to say in the rest of the book.
Me too.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into The Intelligent Rebel, what's the big takeaway? What's the message Roland really wants to leave us with?
I think it's about empowering ourselves, you know?
Hmm.
Taking control of our lives, designing a future that truly reflects what we value.
He's not just giving us a bunch of tips and tricks. It's a whole philosophy.
Right. It's about always learning, always growing, always pushing ourselves to become better.
And it's about using those skills, those insights, to create a business that serves us a life that feels meaningful.
Not letting ourselves get stuck in that traditional 9 to 5 grind if that's not what we want.
Being willing to challenge the status quo, embrace our uniqueness.
Yeah, making a positive impact on the world in whatever way we can.
So it's about more than just personal success.
Exactly. It's about using our talents and our energy to make the world a better place.
Before we sign off, do you think we could try to condense all of this into a 10-point summary for our listeners?
Sure, a top 10 list for the intelligent rebel. I like it.
Okay, number one challenge, conventional wisdom.
Don't just accept things the way they are. Think critically.
Number two, take charge of your education.
Learn what you want, how you want. Don't wait for someone to give you permission.
Number three, cultivate a growth mindset.
Always believe in your ability to learn, to adapt, to evolve.
Number four, take action.
Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Just start moving.
Number five, build a business that works hard for you.
Use systems technology automation to free yourself from the daily grind.
Number six, become a master of marketing and sales.
Connect with your audience authentically. Build relationships, not just transactions.
Number seven, optimize your productivity.
Manage your time, eliminate distractions, get things done.
Number eight, prioritize sleep.
Rest and recharge are essential for peak performance. Don't skimp on sleep.
Number nine, make a positive impact.
Use your talents, your resources, your influence to make the world a little brighter.
And number 10, never give up.
Embrace those challenges. Learn from your mistakes. And keep moving forward.
Wow, that's quite a list. As we're wrapping up, what's the one thing that really sticks with you? What's the message that resonates most deeply?
You know, for me, it's the emphasis on personal responsibility. It's so empowering, that idea that we're not just passive bystanders in our own lives. We have the power to shape our own destinies.
Yeah, it's about taking ownership.
Exactly. And not being afraid to step outside of our comfort zones, to challenge ourselves, to try new things.
So for our listeners out there, what's one action you'd recommend they take? What's one small step they can take today to unlock that inner intelligent rebel?
I'd say just pick one thing from that 10-point list that really spoke to you and make a commitment to work on it. It doesn't have to be a huge change. Just start small experiments, see what happens.
Love it. Remember, even the longest journey begins with a single step. Well, this has been a fantastic exploration of the way of the intelligent rebel. I hope our listeners have found it as insightful and inspiring as we have.
Me too. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep rebelling intelligently.